As I say, I'm wearing two hats today, so I think I'll start off with the Freshwater Watch project, which is the project that we're working with Earthwatch on. Now, this is a global project looking at water quality around the world, and was initially set up by HSBC. It operates in over 30 locations, and I suppose the thing to get across is there's the same core parameters being used around the globe, looking at nitrates, phosphates, turbidity, and so forth. But there's also local parameters which have been added. So it's a flexible tool within certain restrictions. So the quid pro quo almost is, if you can gather these certain parameters, you can by all means add more. But we need these core parameters to look at the global data set. So what I'm going to do is just quickly talk over a video. I think it's the easiest way to do it. If I can get to the mute button, I think that's all right. Let me hide that. There we go. Right. So yes, just to have a quick look at the website. There's lots going on here. There's a lot of learning material on there. There's lots of activities. And so it's a whole sort of platform, really. Obviously, we're more interested in the data gathering and the sort of role of individuals. So everybody has their own profile, and they have their next steps and what they want to do. We try and take them on a journey in terms of gathering data, giving presentations, recruiting new people. And there is a small element of gamification in there. You get points for various tasks, writing blogs, uploading data, and you can see how you're performing against your colleagues. Obviously, the main task is to upload data. As Dave was showing, you can upload data via the website with your classic web form. You can send in paper recording sheets, or you can use the app, and I'll return to the app at the end just to show you some screenshots. But it's your usual standard approach of radio buttons, drop-down lists, take a photo, and as I say, we have some compulsory fields there, which means the data is consistent around the planet. Once you've uploaded that data, that's there to be seen straight away. You can zoom in and look at your various records and click on those. So here we have one record example with the photo, the location, and all the fields which have been filled in. And that's the same, as I say, for everyone around the globe. In terms of feedback, we try and give feedback straight away. We find it's quite important in terms of context. We tell you whether the water is of good ecological status. And you can also start comparing your data with the global data sets and also within the locality. So we see the citizen scientists also doing some research and examining their data and coming up with local stories. So here we have the nitrates and phosphates, our measurement on the right. You can see it's got very low nitrates and phosphates compared to the local area and also to the global comparison. And you can also do that for turbidity, and again, in this instance, the water was relatively clear. So there's lots of things you can do with the data. You can also write blogs and forums and share that. I think what's very good about Freshwater Watch is the fact that you've got 25 scientists using this data. There's a real clear why should I gather this data, and the scientists are actually using it, as well as the actual data gatherers beginning to explore what this might mean. So that's the website, really. I won't go any more on about that. I'll just minimize that down. In terms of the app, the initial app was just a very straightforward data gathering recording form, and we're just about to release a new version. It's in 5 languages, which keeps us busy, so we're just waiting to sort out all the translations. But you can see it's almost like a mini version of the website. We do try and provide feedback and ongoing engagement with the citizen scientists. We see that's quite important in terms of maintaining motivation, so you can see what your status is, what points you have, what the latest news is, as well as push notifications on latest content and blogs and so forth. The recording form is relatively straightforward, just your usual form with a GPS and various fields to fill in, as well as taking a photo. As mentioned previously, this all works offline, so you can upload the data as and when you want. You can view your saved records, you can read your feedback, you can share it on Facebook and Twitter and so on, just to show what a great citizen scientist you're being. So really that's the new version of the app, and I suppose it sort of just reflects the ongoing evolution of citizen science and how you move from getting the data, but then also reaching out to the citizen scientists themselves to try and motivate them to continue on. So that's Freshwater Watch. As I say, it's got some flexibility. Earthwatch are keen to get new people on board. So there's really two options within this. You could join Freshwater Watch and maybe have your own local parameters, and we can bring you into that. But we're also, having spent quite a lot of time, blood, sweat and tears creating this platform, Earthwatch are very keen to look for new partners. So if you've got a citizen science project which involves data gathering and wants to be part of this wider platform, then this is something we'd be very keen in talking to you about. And we feel there's some real benefits in terms of shared participants, bigger impact, allowing progression from one project to the other. So yeah, obviously Earthwatch very keen to talk about that. Just as a quick aside, we are doing this Totally Thames event in about a month's time. I think it's the 14th or 12th of September, and that's a stripped down version of Freshwater Watch. So we've just allowed people to gather the nitrates and phosphate data, and we're going for sort of 1,000 results across the Thames catchment. So it just gives an example of how that can be flexed. So that's Freshwater Watch and Earthwatch. I'll just move now on to Wild Knowledge, if I can remember where I've put everything. Let's just have a quick look. Here, I think. Is this the one? No, it's the same one. 1 second, bear with me if I remember where I am. Up here. Ah, yes, okay. So, Wild Knowledge, this predates Earthwatch and is really how I got into the whole mobile data gathering. It's a spin out from Oxford Brookes. We started off doing wildlife keys and then moved on to recording forms. Initially set up to help teachers do mobile data capture. Increasingly over the years we've made apps for other organisations, heritage organisations, and I suppose this is something we can come back to. There are a number of opportunities in which Rivers Trust and other organisations can participate. What I'm going to show you now is the simplest version, where you just have a licence to use WildForm. You can create your own recording forms and upload that data. So I'll just show that first, and then go for the different permutations, with Freshwater Watch being at the end of the spectrum. So hopefully I can mute this. This is just a demo video, but it's very useful. If you logged into the Wild Knowledge platform, I say we've got 4 applications, but the one we're interested in is WildForm. As I say, it's very easy to create your own recording forms. It takes 2 or 3 minutes. You can deploy that form to your device and then start gathering data straight away. In this example on the website, it's actually a graffiti recorder, where you're going out and looking at graffiti, but this could be absolutely any data gathering which you were interested in doing as a river trust, be it outfalls or water quality or assets along the river. There's lots of different ways you could use this. So wherever you're using a clipboard, effectively, you can make your own recording form to replace this. So you give it a name, you give it a description so that people know what they're doing, and then you, oops, did I just pause that? And then you give it an image as well, just so that it all looks fairly nice within the app. So just quickly bring that in there. And then you're ready to go. There are some extra categories, but they're more aimed at school teachers who might want to keyword and tag forms for certain parts of the curriculum. And really, WildForm has about 20 different field types which you can choose from, be it give me access to the camera, give me a drop-down list, give me the GPS. And you simply go through and add those as you go along. So, for example, in this field, we want to take a photo, so we can add a camera field. You can give it a title, a short prompt, which appears in the app, and then if you need to provide instructions, you can provide more in the caption there. So we've added a camera field. The next field we might want to gather is a radio list, so radio buttons. So this is suitable if you've only got a small number of options, because they're going to be displayed on the app at all times. If you wanted a long list, you choose a drop-down list. So here we've got 4 options, which I'm just going to copy and paste into the tool here. Put that on there. You can have them individually as well. So we've got our drop-down list, and then the only other field we need to add now is the GPS. So on that front, we can just access the device function and add location as an option. and that's there. So very simple form. That's used 3 fields, and you can actually use Wild Knowledge for free with 3 fields. So you could create a very simple form with location, photo, and a drop-down list of options for absolutely nothing at all, and just sort of really cut your teeth. Once you're happy with that, and you've tested your app, your recording app, you can publish it, and you're good to go. Now I've got a little video here. This is pretty old now. This is an old Android, which is probably about 5 or 6 years old, which is an age in mobile technology, but it gives you the idea. All we're going to do is refresh the list of forms. That will come down, the Graffiti recording app. Sorry for the blur there, but we're now ready to go, and you've got the 3 fields in there with the description. So camera, radio button, and GPS. As I say, this is an old version. I'll show you the new screen shot in a minute. So then we want to go out into the field. We've created, we've deployed, and now we're gathering. So obviously in this example we're looking at graffiti, but as I said, it could be absolutely anything. It's the same principle. We're taking a photo, we're geo-stamping it, and we're rating that graffiti according to your own personal opinion. So that all operates offline. You can gather as many data points as you want. You then need to upload that to the Wild Knowledge platform, where you can start exploring and analysing your data. So we go back to Wild Form, click on there. We've got a number of forms in this account, so we just want to look at the relevant form, which is Graffiti Recorder, and view results. So if I click on View My Results, we can see we've got 4 records there. This is in a tabular form, so you can sort the data. You can export it to Excel for more advanced data analysis, or import into GIS. There's some simple mapping using Google Maps, where you can obviously toggle between satellite and the underlay, and click on each individual point to see the various fields you've gathered. And we have our data point there. So that's totally flexible. Depending on how many fields you've gathered, those fields will appear, and you can analyze the data how you want. There are a few other bits of functionality on the Wild Knowledge platform. You can graph the data just relatively simply. As I say, really, if you want to do more advanced data analysis, Excel and import into GIS are your best bets. But we're looking at how that can be made more complicated, but or more advanced. But this gives you really an overview. So that's Wild Knowledge. I said I'd give you a quick update on how the app looks. If I can just click out of this. So yeah, this is the Android version. You can see you've got your various recording forms with your description and the records you've uploaded. The recording form with the various fields, and that can be done to take photos, record audio, take video. As I say, pretty much any field you can think of is pretty much in there. So that's Wild Knowledge. So that's I suppose I've given you two sort of projects there. Wild Knowledge, do it yourself, create your own recording form, up to your own app with your own website, and it's using the same technology effectively. And it really, in the world of apps and data collection, often comes down to budget and what's affordable. So at one extreme, you could have Wild Form with 3 fields, and you could do that for nothing. If you wanted a license to use Wild Form, it really depends on a case by case, but quite often it's around about £1,000 a year to upload data if it's a fairly decent sized project, and we'll host that data for you and push it on. We do have clients who either want their own app or they want their own website, or both, but these obviously all add cost to it. The Freshwater Watch is a good example of where they've got their own website and their own app, but we do have projects in the middle where they're just using Wild Form as an app, and then we're pushing the data on. So we're doing a project in Africa looking at lions, and we push the data on automatically to their website. So I think we'll probably come on to cost later on, but in my I suppose experience, branding your own app, having the app is the expensive part of this. So a lot of it comes down to budget. I think that's it, unless there's any questions.
Thank you very much indeed, Neil. So I've unmuted everyone. Oh, got a bit of an echo there. Has anyone got any questions?
I've got one. I'm conscious of the echo potentially being from our office. When you were showing the data points captured in that last app, the well-known, and you showed them geographically, is it possible for multiple users to see the record that the people have captured? And so someone could see that someone else has captured something about a different subject or the same subject?
Yeah, it just depends how the account's been set up. So going back to how this was originally devised, it was sort of a unit of sharing with the account. So the account was kind of devised for a part basically with a community group. So if you wanted to share the data and have everybody using the same forms, then you would push that out, and they'd either share the same login, so you could just say, well, look, everyone uses the same login. If you wanted to identify individual recorders, you'd have that as a field, or you put your name in. Or you can set them up as individuals with their own login, and then the data can either be part of the same account or it can be as individuals. So I suppose it's flexible according to what you want.
Brilliant, thank you. One last question, just on that one, and it may be something that's wider, but thinking about updates to the app, happy to be parked and covered for all the apps, but that's something that's been quite obvious to us is the ongoing sort of maintenance of updates.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it is an ongoing thing, and it's frustrating as a developer because your job is never done. Recently, Apple changed the way they requested location. We had to do updates for lots of different apps, and I suppose it's just the nature of the beast. That's what's quite good about using something like WildForm, because we've got everyone using the same platform, and we're going to update it anyway. But if you've got lots of individual apps everywhere, you have to just make sure it's in the SLA, the service level agreement, that the developer will undertake to improve the app or update the app for changes for a certain amount of time. So it's quite hard to come up with a one-off cost. There's usually sort of ongoing maintenance and things to take into account for the website as well as the app.
Brilliant, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much then, Neil.